guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Ali and you are watching Arty Ali, and today I'm carrying on with my Rita Berman Das Land der Kleinen Abenteuer colour along. I've just been in and used magenta here and on these, and you'll see that I've used magenta at the top as well. And I'm just coming in now with a raspberry. I'm going to sharpen it. I want a bit sharper, and I'm going to come in and do a little bit of shading with that raspberry to just add a little bit of definition to a couple of those spots. Oh, I also did this circus tent, so I'm just going to come in, give a little bit of definition to some of those parts, and definitely to whatever these are. I mean, there's some kind of flower, fruit, who knows what they actually are, but yeah, just thought I'd give a little bit of dimension. Sorry about the shadows. It's one of those weird days here in New Zealand where the sun is shining but it keeps raining as well, so I can't quite get the light to fall in the right place. I don't have a very professional setup anyway. I'm in my office, which was purpose built by my husband, and it's lovely, and it's big enough for me to have a bench at one end where I can do my painting. I do like to do acrylic paints, and then at the other end I've got my office and my craft colouring area set up, and in the middle two reclining chairs for Penelope and Cassandra, because they have to live out here, unfortunately, because my husband is allergic to cats, and that is a big shame. They're allowed to visit the house, so they can pop in if I go in to, make myself a coffee, or they might stay with me a little bit during the day when he's at work, but they can't live in the house because he is allergic. So the cats live in the studio, which is pretty large. As I said, at one end there's a bench, and it goes the whole way across, and that's where it's large enough for there to be shelving and plenty of space for them to eat, and for me to have my easel set up, and for painting to take place there. So they actually do quite well, even though they can't come in the house permanently while he's there. But we don't focus on the negatives. We focus on the fact that we have them. They have a perfectly lovely, warm, secure place to sleep, and because I work from home, they get an awful lot of company from me, because of course I'm out here most days, and then even at the weekend I'm bound to be out here a couple of the days just to check in on them, make sure they're all happy and good. So we make it work, which I think is the important compromise, right? We need to make things work. Okay, I'm coming in with plum now, and plum is going to be for this door here, like this door here. Now I'm really just doing flat colouring at the moment. I'm going to come in with some shading, and I'm probably going to come in with my super tips and do that shading in a moment. But yeah, first of all, I'm just moving this along because I was aware that I posted the first one a good few weeks ago, and then, as always, I put the book away and completely forgot what I was actually doing in it. So it was a good reminder, and particularly with it being Mother's Day today, I was like, oh, actually that's a really nice time for me to take a bit of time, do some colouring, and have a little bit of a chat to you guys and see how you're all doing. That plum is actually a lot darker than I was really wanting it to be, but that's okay. You know me, I go with the flow. Once I've committed to it, that's it. We have to go with it. Then I have to say, I really like how these pencils work, the Crayola pencils work in this book. I don't say that they work brilliantly in all of Rita Berman's books, but then I only have 4 of her books anyway. So I have Mine and summer spasm going. So I have the summer season, and of course I have the Meine Reisen durch Asia, Meine Reise durch Africa, and the Europe one. And this one, oh, so that makes, yeah, so that's five of her books. So I don't have all of her books, and that's okay. I'm all right with not having all of her books. I think I would like them. It's so difficult to get things in NZ, so you have to pick what you're going to get. At the moment, I'm really looking out for Camilla Derrico's Sea Creatures, the Mermaids and Sea Creatures one. I thought I'd found one at Gordon Harris, which is an online shop that we can get things from here in New Zealand. It's based in Auckland. They were like, yeah, we've got it in stock on their website. And then when I clicked to buy it, nah, not in stock. And you know, yes, I can pay, but it's, sorry about that, it's $50 for me to, you know, pay for it, which is fine. I have no problem with the money. But then, you know, I'm going to wait and wait and wait and wait with no idea when it's actually going to arrive. So I was kind of like, yeah, I don't want to do that. I think I'd rather not order it until I actually know it's in stock and it can be, you know, delivered to me within a reasonable time frame. Because obviously if I could get it while it was still mermaid, that would be awesome, because I've seen a gorgeous page. Who did it? I can't remember now. Was it Colouring with K? It might have been Colouring with K. It might have been Colouring with K. Had a glorious Selkie page in, and of course the Selkie is the Geordie's Colour the Fairy Tale prompt for this May. So I kind of wanted to do it, give myself that opportunity, but yeah, maybe not this year. Maybe not this year. And I haven't found it anywhere as a PDF, you know, that I could buy. So I'm sometimes very lucky. You know, you can buy things on Etsy and they come as a digital download sometimes. So I was looking there, hoping that might be the case, but no, not for this one. But never mind, that's all right. I did find some Erie on Etsy actually, and they weren't a bad price, I have to say. They were they were $15, which I think was probably US dollars, which is still a little bit more for us here in NZ, but this is just the yellow. I want to come in with some yellow now. I've decided my road's going to be yellow, so I could do quite a lot with the road, I think. If I make my road yellow, I can get a lot done on the road. Yep. Oh, I keep turning my light off, which is absolutely ridiculous, redonkulous, as Harry Potter would say. Well, no, he wouldn't, but my husband says redonkulous all the time. So yeah, that's what was I saying? Oh yeah, about getting the Erie book. So I think it was World Literature and World Heritage. So I was thinking I might bite the bullet and order them off Etsy. I'm always a little dubious about Etsy because you might not know the seller, and I don't mind getting my digital prints off Etsy. So I've done Mariola Budek. I've got a couple of her PDFs, and also I've done Christina Karen, and just for May, because I really wanted it so badly, I did an order with Colour in Heaven, and I got the Tiny Year magazine, which is illustrated by Agota Pop, and I love. I've done the May shelf page, and I can't tell you how much I enjoyed colouring that. It was super fun. Lots of little images, yes, a bit like this page though. Lots of little images, and I kept to a fairly limited colour palette to try not to overwhelm myself, because I'm aware that, you know, when there's that many objects, you know, my tendency is to go crazy, pick up every pen. But I didn't. I kept it to a very limited color palette, and that actually, I think, worked out super well for me. Anyway, so yeah, let's go. Oh, the tower can be yellow as well. Yep, I like the yellow tower. I think this can be yellow as well. It's really hard to decide where to place my colors. Like, I haven't really got a plan in my head. Well, kind of I have, but not really. But then, you know, that's normal for me to not have a plan. Generally, it's just whichever pencil I pick up, and I'm not even usually looking at those pencils. So that is often why we end up with some very weird color combinations. Last night I had a lot of fun doing backgrounds in things. I really enjoyed the backgrounds that I did. I just was playing with my watercolor paint and also my water-based markers. So the Supertips got a bit of an airing, and we did a background with them. And what else did we do? We did a background with the Statler Jewel Tips, and we did a background with just paint. Yeah, well, with two different types of paint actually. One was just my normal watercolors. You know, we had mixed results, but that's fine. I have no problem with it being mixed results, because it was about the process last night. It actually wasn't about the end result. The end result really did not matter. What I wanted was to have the joy and the fun of literally just playing and not worrying about was it going to look good. You know, when you're a kid and you know, remember going home with your piece of artwork and it'd be put up on the fridge, and you know, that was kind of where I was going. It was just literally enjoy the process. Don't worry about anything else, but enjoy what you're doing. And just like I'm enjoying doing this road, you wouldn't think the road would be that interesting to do, would you? But actually, I'm quite liking the fact that this gives it a bit of framing. And then what I'm going to do, because I promised you I would, as I'm probably going to come in, and of course I'll pick the orange, won't I? Because, you know, why wouldn't I? I'll pick the orange. It will immediately be too orange, but that's all right. We'll come back in with a yellow, and we'll see if we can just get it to be a bit less. Yeah, because the good thing about using the Crayola Supertips on top of the pencils is that it does kind of smush it out a little bit, if that makes sense. It yeah, it does give it a bit more, kind of breaks down the pigment a little bit. This was the color I actually wanted, and I'd love to tell you which color it was, but of course, you know, so I've got it down as yellow, and the other one I was using is lemon yellow, and the one I came in with that was way too much, and I should have known it straight away. Doesn't have a label on it anymore, so we don't care. So yeah, let's come in with this darker, see if we can create some shadow other than my hand creating shadow, because that's no good. That's quite nice. Yep, I quite like that. Let's give a bit of shade in here, a little bit there. It's really lovely. So yeah, I cannot tell you how much I love my Crayolas, and they are gorgeous. And one day I'm going to have the 150 set of the Crayolas, and not just the 100 set, which is all I've seen available. But I know they do 150 set, but I am kind of holding out because I want a campaign to get Crayola to put names on these. All right, I want them to put names on these, because they put names on their other products, right? They put names on their pencils. They put names on their crayons. They put names on their colors of kindness, and on their, oh, what's the other ones that they have that they do? You know what I'm saying, though. They've already got the names. They've already got the names. Why then do they not just put the names on these? Why do they not just put the names on these super tips? Because I can guarantee you, if these had names, more people, I'm sure, would want to use them, because they are actually pretty spectacular. They're so versatile. Now, I know people are going to say, oh, but what about bleed through? Not in this book. But again, they're not being super saturated, and they're just going on very very dry. You know, I'm not going over and over and over the area, so I think that definitely will help them. The other thing is that I'm not going to activate them with water, which does tend to make them want to bleed through. But I tested all of the Johanna Basford books that I own, and I tested all of the water-based markers that I own, and you can see that video. It's up on my channel, and that was a great experiment, because I was surprised at how well they performed. They outperformed the more expensive Statler Jewel Tips. They outperformed some ones that I had from W.H. Smith's, and they outperformed the, what are they called? The 68 Stabilio. They outperformed Stabilio, and I think, went up at the lid, that was really interesting, that they outperformed a lot of these more expensive brands, because you think of Crayola as the kiddie brand, right? I'm not saying they're not. They're sturdy. They've got lots of colors. They are, pretty hardy, which means kids can really be rough with them, and they'll be fine. But I just find that when you come in with them and you give them a little bit more of a try, you will find that they can be quite versatile, and they can give you some quite good results. Now, do they give you them as easy as others? Well, I suppose it depends. I think that they are quite easy, but then I think it's about your effort, your time, how much do you want to spend on doing this kind of thing. And I really don't have an issue spending 15-20 minutes. This is Purple Heart. I'm coming in. I'm pretty certain I did the mountains in Purple Heart, but I just want to come in because it's a nicer one than that plum. That plum was really a bit too much. So I'm going to come back in here and just add my plum. Not my plum, my Purple Heart. And of course I can add a bit of shading. So no, they're definitely, but then you see, but I was just going to say, I find my polys hard to use, right? And I love them. I've got two sets. I've got a 60 set, and I've also got a 120 set, bigger set. And I struggle with them because I know they're a layering pencil, but I don't really understand what that means if you're layering. What does that actually mean? Because to me, these Crayola are a layering pencil. You can come over the top, and look, you can see I'm starting to get a little bit of shading here by being very light, very intentional. So I don't know. I mean, what is it about them that people say they love? I mean, I know people love them, and I do love my polys, and I'm very, very grateful to have my polys, but I don't always pick them up and use them because I really don't understand how to get the best out of them. And I've watched tutorials, and you know, some people are superb at sharing, and you think, oh yeah, I've got it now, but then I'll come back into it and I'll be like, no, I haven't got it. This is my raspberry again. Remember, I used the raspberry here to create a little bit of shading, particularly on this. I'm going to come back in a moment with that, but I just wanted to fill in some of these doorways. And they're so accessible as well. I mean, these are the sort of things I think that you can take with you anywhere and know that, well, you know, if they got lost, if they got broken, it wouldn't matter, because they are super replaceable, if that makes sense. You could go into any bookstore, any Walmart, any warehouse, any of the works, and you would probably be able to pick up Crayola pencils. And I think that's something I really love about them. You know, they're so accessible, so they can go on holiday with you. They are a hard pencil, but I don't know, maybe that's me. Maybe I actually really quite like a hard pencil. I think I get better results when I'm able to press down a little bit harder on the pencil than maybe other people would. So yeah, I really love them. I do love them. I think they're very versatile. I think they work well. I think they do blend. They just don't blend as easily as some of the other bits and pieces might blend. But that's okay, because, you know, each to their own. And I think it's good to have a variety of pencils and a variety of tools. Yeah, so let's see, I'm just enjoying the process. I really like that yellow and how it's kind of brought everything up. So I'm using raspberry at the moment and not really worried about too much. I mean, you can see I haven't touched the bottom layer yet. I'm not going to, I don't think today. I think today I wanted to get some of this raspberry colored down the page because I had it at the top and I knew that I needed to bring it down the page a little bit. So that's what I'm doing. I'm bringing it down the page, but I don't think I'm going to do an awful lot more than now. Think about maybe this little bit and this little bit and this little bit. Maybe on here we can have you do that bit. I need to come back into that because it obviously needs a wee bit more. What have we got here that I can do? No, I want to do that purple, I think. Yes, I want to do that purple. I think we're going to make you orange. Yeah, okay, well, we can come in and do that then. I want a nice orange. What am I going to use for the orange? I think I'm going to use orange circuit. So that's the orange I want. I don't like that. I need to sharpen it. Oh, my sharpener, my lovely sharpener broke, and I have really not the best one, and it does not see, it doesn't perform anywhere near how I want it to perform. It just it breaks the leads. I cannot keep a sharp point on it, but that's all right. I am going to order a new one, I think. Some very cute little houses here. Actually, that is the colour I want to take along the edge of the road to give the road a bit of dimension. Yeah, that's better. Sorry that I have to keep rotating. I'm a lefty, and that means that sometimes it's really hard for me to colour straight. So I tend to move my page around, which is why I have a rotator on the thing. Can you see the bottom? I'm hoping you can see. I've probably just completely taken you out of focus now. Let me try a bit more, see if I can get you there. Yep, I think I'm here. Yep, you can see me now. So yeah, so you can see that's just enough just enough to give a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of dimension to the road. You know, stop it looking quite so flat. Yep, I like that. And you don't need to be hard. I know it's a hard pencil, and I think that's the thing, right? The temptation is to come in quite heavy-handed with a Crayola to see if you can lay down that pigment. But I found that working lightly works better for Crayola. Coming in gentle, 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 and like you would with a poly, I guess, going a little bit over the same space just gives it that little bit of help, of persuasion. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Sorry if I'm saying a lot. I don't normally, but that's because I'm just kind of rambling, just enjoying the process of colouring this little bit so that it has improved. I don't suppose anybody will even watch it, which is fine because I'm doing this as a way of trying to learn about my process and how, not that one, that's not lemon. That's the fluoro one. Let's go lemon. Yeah, learning about my process, trying to remember, oh, that's what I did. So even if this doesn't get any views or any likes, I don't mind. It's going to be fine. It's about, at the end of the day, it really is about enjoying the process. And I like that. I think that actually looks really well. You can see where I haven't done, and you can see where I have done, and you can see that it definitely adds a little bit of something else to the whole kind of thing. I'm going to come back and finish my little teapotty house. I think it's a teapot. You can see I've gone in really lightly there because I know I want to come in with a darker orange. So that was orange circuit. This is yellow orange. So let's see what we can do with that. I'm going to go underneath because we want to try and create a little bit of dimension, a little bit of interest. Sorry, I hope you can see what I'm doing. I don't know quite where to put my hand so that you can see, and I don't quite know where to put my camera. I probably need to put it back where it was because I think I had it in the best place, but my husband was like, oh, maybe you could try it there. And I thought, well, you know, maybe. He's usually right, so I didn't want to say no straight off the bat because he is usually right about most practical things. But I'm not very practical. He is very practical. Let's see. And see how you can blend it out. See, look, I've blended that out. Maybe not as perfectly as you could with a Prisma, because of course the Prisma smooshes way more for you, but there is definitely some movement of the pigment. I like that now. Just need to come in here, just want to come in there and maybe there and just give that a little bit more. Look, I like that. I'm going to give it a lemon window now. There we go. Now, lemon yellow, this is the light coming through the window. And I think if I can find that orange I had before, which has no name, so that'll be this one, won't it? Yeah, look at that. Coming in with that super tip. Now, the trick is to try and let them be wet. I'm going to come in with the lemon, because not the lemon. That's not lemon. You'll notice, see, I love to pick up the wrong pens. The wrong pens, the wrong pencils. And then I'm allowing my super tips to just smush it out a bit more. I like that. That's really pretty. Really pretty. Right, I think I'm going to work on the green house now. I think that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to not do that. I'm going to come in with my purple heart. I like the purple heart the most. And see if we can give a bit of dimension here and here, because that's what we are trying to do. A little bit round here. Yep, that would be nice. A little bit down here. Okay, what colour? Right, so that's now, it's coming with a bit of a green. I had a green before, but I don't think I want that green. I think this green, which is the yellow green, yeah, that's what we were using, wasn't it? Yeah, look at that. Nice and soft, nice and low. Because I find that if you press too hard, all you do is you create those horrible lines that you just don't want. And then you can come in. There you go, look at that. Come in with that, and we'll go back in with the lemon. Because they just work so nicely together. You see how that just really lifted that from what it was into something that actually has a little bit of interest now, has a little bit of shape, has a little bit of dimension from what we were doing before. You're a Prisma. Don't know what you are doing in there, Prisma, but you do not live in with the Crayolas. Right, I want pink now. I know I need pink. Pink, and it's the Tickle Me Pink. Okay, Tickle Me Pink. Where else did I want to do it? I think I wanted to do it. Actually, I want that to be green because it's part of the same house. See how lightly I go? And when you go lightly, you don't get the same kind of scribbly line that you know you can get with the Crayola because they're hard. But there's barely any pigment down, but you see, when I'm finished, we've got plenty of pigment down because we are using the tools. So here I am going over a second time. This is my second layer, just to give that green a little bit more. And I'm still using light pressure. I'm going to go in now with a third layer, and you can see it's really beginning to build up quite nicely. Like that now. Look at that. That is quite nice. Yeah, like that. Now we want a bit of a darker green. I do. I should have picked up a darker green before. This will do. Yep, because I need down here to definitely be darker. So again, nice light pressure, because the light pressure is definitely what works best with the Crayola pencils. They don't like it when you try and rush them. They don't like it when you try, I'd say, okay, so for me, these are the Neuro Spicy pencils, right? You can get a lot out of them, but they don't give up their secrets easily. They like you to get to know them, and they are very shy, and they're very reserved. You know, like the polys are all, look at me, look at me, look at me. And the Prismacolors are just like, hey, we just do our job. We just do what we do, and everybody loves us. But the Crayolas are very shy. They're very, you know, we just do our own little thing, and if you like it, that's cool. But if you don't, that's cool too. You know, that's kind of how they roll. And I think sometimes, you know, they get a bit PDA. Nope, not going to do that. We're not going to colour that page the way you think we're going to colour that page. Nope, nope, nope. You try to make us be blendy, and we don't want to be blendy. And I think, so that's my tip. I am really loving these two houses now. I think they look super cute. I think the Crayolas have worked really well for me on them. I think I've got the blend, the interest, the texture that I knew I wanted from them. So that's super cool. I'm coming in here with well, I call it the pale flesh color, because I know that that's going to give me a bit more dimension on these two, because that's what I wanted, to just smush it out. And I can tell you, well, I find that when I use my super tips on top, they smooth out all of that pencil, and they give such a lovely finish. That's quite bright, that yellow. That lemon yellow on its own is quite bright. I want to use, what was I using? It was that, not the orange circuit. It was this one, wasn't it? Because I can just see, I want to see if I can continue on the road. So yeah, well, that's probably about all I really want to do on this page now. Kind of getting to the point where I need a state changer. I find that I can colour on one page for a little bit, but I then lose interest. Not interest. Well, yeah, no, it's definitely interest. Because I'm kind of like, yeah, I've thought enough about this page now. I want to go and do something different. Definitely want to go and do something different. Want to mix it up. Look at that. Really love how that even smushes out the pencil just beautifully. Yeah, so that's it. That's where I'm going to leave it for now. I'm going to leave these two houses. Maybe I'll turn them up the right way for you so you're not looking at them sideways, because I know that can be quite difficult. But yeah, I'm really, actually, now I've turned it up the right way. I know I've got to come in and do this one. And I'm still going to use that fleshy colour, because I know it will pull out the purples that I wanted it to. Look at that. See? Pretty. Pretty, pretty, pretty. There, look at that. Now, I'm just going to see if I can find a slightly darker. And you do always have to test the Crayolas, because you know, they don't always behave, you know. So there's that one. Come in here, see if we can blendy blend. Blendy, 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 blend. Look at that, it's blended out beautifully. I want to do the purple, but I don't know if I've got a light purple around. This is quite dark, but it might work. Yeah, look at you. In fact, why don't we just do that now? Because that will work too. Yep. Nice. Nice, we like that. We have another purple, which we can add. That was very ready purple, wasn't it? But that's all right, we don't mind. We don't mind. Because it's my book. I don't mind. I don't mind if my book ends up being a whole riot of different things, because it'll show me. Nice. Now I need to come back in with my, no, not that one. I don't know why I keep picking up that one. I should get rid of it, because it's very fluoro. And we definitely don't need fluoro. There we are. Oh, wow. I'm quite liking how that looks. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that you at least enjoyed the chat, even if you didn't want to colour this page. So yeah, until the next time, guys, happy day, happy colouring.